Hola mis amigos y bienvenidos. I hope that you're having a really good day today. And if you're not, maybe it'll just get better. Now, I know that we have notes, but these notes are super short, sweet, and to the point, so I hope that at least makes up for something. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Today we're talking about regular ER and IR verbs. Let's begin. Okay, so jumping right off to the bat here, to conjugate our ER verbs, we have to look at some new endings here, okay? So rather than our AR verb endings, we're learning the ER verb endings, which are as follows: O, es, e, hemos, es, and en to the stem, right? So here is that little bitty diagram showing you the components of our verb once again. So we have the infinitive verb, which is its unconjugated form, right? It has the two components coming together with it. Now, of course, I do like to work backwards. Maybe you remember. First, we look at the ending, the infinitive ending, which in this case, it is ER, as we pointed out. We have those three categories of verbs, AR, ER, which is here, and IR. That means the part left over is considered the stem. I color it in green here, which is the COM. Add those two together, you get our infinitive comer, which is to eat. Okay, so here we go. I want us to talk really quickly about what do you notice similarity-wise between our ER verb endings here to our AR verb endings. You may have already caught it. Think about that little song or that little melody that we had for our AR verb endings, right? It was, are you ready? It was o, as, a, amos, ice, and an. Do you see it yet? All right. If you have our AR verb endings down pat, you also already know your ER verb endings, because all we do is we replace every A with the letter E. So maybe even just make yourself a little note there. Say ER verb endings are exactly the same as our AR verb endings. You only switch the A's with E. All right, and that is the big reveal. Easiest component ever, right? Just remember the o, as, a, amos, ice, an, and then you definitely have the ER verb endings. Let's look at it in a chart. Here we go. So again, we're looking at this verb comer, right? And my infinitive ending is just here. My stem is here. I know that I can go ahead and plug in that stem for every single little one. And then I just attach the new ending, the conjugated ending that matches our subject. So here we see it again. O, es, e, hemos, es, and en. There we go. So yo como is I eat, tú comes, you eat, él, ella, usted, he, she, or you formal, come, eat. Nosotros comemos, we eat. Vosotros coméis, you all eat. And then ellos, ellas, and ustedes, or they, masculine and feminine, and you all, comen, or eat. Qué fácil, no? How easy. All right, so that literally covers our ER verb endings. Now, this next part, I don't know, it might be tricky, but I have a good feeling that you'll catch up. Now we're going to look at our IR verb endings. Here we go. So to conjugate the regular IR verbs, guess what? We drop that infinitive ending. We are so used to this by now, and we simply add the new conjugated endings. Take a look. They are o, es, e. Here we have imos, is, and en to the stem. Now, we know the pattern. If you know your AR verb endings, you know your ER. So if we know our ER, do we know our IR? I think we do. Notice that we only have 2 tiny exceptions to our ER verb chart for our IR verb chart. And that is found here in the nosotros form and the vosotros form, right? Literally everything else is identical to our ER verb endings. So again, the only difference between ER verb endings, and do go ahead and add this to your notes. The only difference between ER verb endings and IR verb endings is that for nosotros and vosotros, we change the E's to I. And there you have it. So let's check it out on a chart here, shall we? Okay, here we go. We're going to be looking at this verb escribir. Here we go. It is to write. And again, we are familiar with our infinitive ending and then our verb stem here. Okay? All right, my friends, here we are. For escribir, we have yo escribo, tú escribes, él, ella, usted escribe. So far, this is identical to our ER verb chart. Here is where we see the difference. My nosotros, it's not EMOS, it is IMOS. So not escribemos, but escribimos, right? So go ahead, put a star, underline it, highlight it, something, just to show, hey, we see a change here. And then vosotros escribís, we also notice that difference there. We have just the IS, and then we fall right back into the pattern. Escriben for ellos, ellas, and ustedes. All right, so this is why pronunciation is key for our vowels. I'm gonna write 3 verbs up here, and then I want you to try to say them and then listen to me. See if you got that stress right the first time. Okay, so for our first verb, I'm going to write conjugation of hablar. My second verb, let's do